welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful book, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. We're going to boil it down to its core ideas, the stuff you can actually use to build your own financial freedom.
So the whole philosophy of this book it kicks off with this simple little story. And it's not about being cheap or living a miserable life. No, it's about one thing, control. It's about setting up your life so you're the one in charge, not your boss, not some bank, and definitely not the king.
And that control, well, it's got a name. And look, we're not talking about being rich just to have a fancy car or a huge house. This is about something way more powerful. The author, he calls it FU money.
Okay, so what is FU money? This is the end game, right? It's the point where you have enough money invested and working for you that you don't need a paycheck anymore. You can live your life without having to work for someone else. I mean, think about it. It's the most valuable thing money can possibly buy. It's freedom.
You know, the author J.L. Collins, he figured this out pretty young. Picture this. He's 25 years old. He's saved up $5,000. He goes to his boss and says, "Hey, I want to take 4 months off, unpaid, to go travel." The boss says, "Nope." So what does he do? He quits, right there. That little bit of money gave him the power to just walk away. That's the power we're talking about here. It gives you options.
All right, but hold on. Before we can even start building up that FU fund, we've got to take on its number one enemy. We have to talk about debt.
And let me tell you, the book does not pull any punches here. The message is crystal clear. Debt is not normal. It's not some useful financial tool. It is a vicious monster that will eat your future wealth for breakfast. It has to be destroyed.
And it's so important to see it this way. Debt isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a life problem. Think about it. Every single dollar you're paying in interest is a dollar that's not working for you. It's a dollar that could be growing your wealth. Instead, it chains you to a job, maybe one you can't stand, just to keep feeding the beast. It crushes your options.
So how do you get out? The plan is simple. Now, simple doesn't mean easy, okay? It takes serious focus. Step 1, you list out every single thing you owe. Step 2, you slash your spending down to the bare essentials. And then, step 3, you go to war. You take all that extra cash and throw it at the debt with the highest interest rate until it's completely gone. Then you move on to the next one on the list.
Okay, so once the debt is gone, or at least you've got a solid plan to kill it, now we can talk about building wealth. And for that, we turn to the big engine of it all, the stock market. But before you jump in, there's one core belief, one fundamental truth you really have to get your head around.
Just look at this number. This shows you the raw power of that engine over the long haul. We're talking about a 40-year stretch here, from 1975 to 2015, a period that had recessions, huge market crashes, all kinds of chaos. And through all of that, the market still delivered an average return of almost 12% a year. That is the incredible force we want to put to work for us.
But to do that, you have to know what you're actually investing in. Collins has this brilliant analogy for it. He says the market is like a glass of beer. The beer at the bottom, that's the real stuff. That's the actual value of all the companies you own a piece of. But the foam on top, that's just the day-to-day noise, the panicky headlines on TV, the speculation. Your one job as an investor is to completely ignore the foam and just focus on the beer.
And here's why the market, over the long term, almost has to go up. It's because it's kind of self-cleansing. Think about it. A bad company can only go to zero. It can't go lower than that. Poof, it's gone. But a great company, an innovative one, there is literally no limit to how high its value can go. So you always have these new winners bubbling up and replacing the old losers. And that just naturally pushes the whole thing up over time.
Okay, so we've established the market is the tool. So, what's the plan? What's the actual strategy here? Well, it's almost ridiculously simple.
Basically, when you invest, you have two choices. Choice 1, you can try to be a genius. You can pay some professional in a fancy suit a ton of money in fees to try and pick winning stocks for you. Or, choice 2, you can just buy a little piece of everything with a super low-cost index fund. And honestly, it's not even a contest. The data is just brutal. Over 15 years, more than 80% of those pros fail to do better than the simple, cheap index fund.
And this right here, this is the heart of the simple path. The whole strategy, while you're in your wealth accumulation phase, boils down to this. You put 100% of your investment money into one single thing, VTSAX. That's Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Fund. It's like putting all your eggs in one basket, except that basket holds thousands of stocks, making it incredibly diversified. You just put your money in and you let it ride.
All right, so we've got the plan.
It's simple. But now we come to the final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, this might be the hardest part. The plan is easy, but sticking to the plan, that takes a certain mindset. It takes some real mental fortitude.
And what's the biggest enemy of that mental fortitude? It's this question right here. It's the fear that gets everybody. You hear whispers that the market's about to crash, and what do? You get scared. You freeze. You think, I'll just wait on the sidelines until things calm down, and in doing so, you miss out on massive gains.
Let's be brutally honest. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can consistently predict what the market's going to do. And to time the market, you don't just have to be right once. You have to be a genius twice. You have to know the perfect time to sell right at the peak, and then the perfect time to buy back in right at the bottom. It's an impossible game. Trying to play it is pretty much a guaranteed way to lose.
So this is where you have to flip a switch in your brain. You have to completely change how you see a market crash. For a long-term investor following this path, a crash isn't something to be afraid of. It's a celebration. It means the entire stock market just went on a massive sale. It's a fantastic opportunity to buy more, cheaper, and actually speed up your journey to financial independence.
And really, that's it. That's the simple path. It's a powerful, no-nonsense strategy for building wealth for sure, but it's about so much more than just the money. It's a plan to buy back your time, to buy back your choices, to buy back your life. It's a path to the one thing that's more valuable than anything else, your freedom. Thanks for tuning in.